Alright, so first thing we're going to do is just go through basic ratios. Most of these are foundation level questions. I haven't put any problem solving questions in. If you want me to do some problem solving questions, just let me know and I will do. For simplifying ratios, think of it like you're simplifying a fraction. So we're just looking for common numbers between our two numbers. So if we look at 4 and 6, which is our first one, so I'm looking for a number that goes into 4 and goes into 6. So my first option is going to be 2. So I can take both of these and divide by 2. So that's going to leave me with a ratio of 2 to 3. Okay? And if I look at those numbers now, there's no way that I can divide anything else out. So those are my simplest ratio. So we're going to write that over there as 2 to 3. If we look at 21 to 15, again, I'm going to think about what can I divide into 21 and 15. So if I look, I can divide both of these by 3. That's going to give me a ratio of 7 to 5. And again, there's nothing I can take out of those. So 7 to 5 is my simplest. Okay, 12 and 36, same thing. I do want to take a minute though and take a look at this one, because this one we've got fractions. So the first thing we want to do is we want to take this and we want to get them into the same denominator. Now if I look at 6 over 10, I can divide the top and the bottom by 2. And that's going to give me 2 over 5, stays the same, and I get 3 over 5 here. Now because I have the same denominator, that allows me to cancel that out, because I'm saying that both of these represent the same number of whole pieces. So I'm saying I've got 2 out of 5 pieces and 3 out of 5 pieces, so I can compare them the same way. So I can get rid of that denominator and I can just leave it as 2 of 3. Okay, so if we have fractions, we want to get them to the same common denominator. Okay, and then we can cancel out that denominator and just write our numerators. Okay? So that's kind of the trickiest we could see with our ratios. Now, if we take a look, this one is asking us to share the following into the given ratios. So 30 pounds into 1 to 2 to 3. So what you want to do is you want to count up how many pieces in total you have. So if we look at this, we've got 6 pieces in total, because I've done 1 plus 2 gives me 3, plus another 3 gives me 6. So I know that I want to do 30 divided by 6, okay, and that's going to give me £5, okay. That tells me what each piece is going to be. So I know this 1 is going to be 5. So I've got £5. Now I'm going to need 2 of those groups. That's going to be £10. And then last, I'm going to need 3 of those groups. It's going to be £15. Okay, so my final answer is 5 to 10 to 15. Now, notice that this is a 2-mark question. That means that they're going to be looking for you to be showing how you found out how to put those numbers in. So you've shown that you did 30 into 6 pieces, okay? Then you've shown that you've done, like if I wanted to be really picky about it, I could even put 5 times 2 and 5 times 3 here. Just make sure that you show more work rather than less, so that you're getting all the points that you can possibly get. Okay, 4 kilometers into 3 to 7. So if I think about this, 3 plus 7, I have 10 total. Okay, so if I take 4 kilometers, divide by 10, that leaves me with 0.4 kilometers for each piece. So I'm going to do 0.4 times 3, which is going to give me 1.2 kilometers. And I'm going to do 0.4 times 7, which is going to give me 2.8 kilometers. So my ratio becomes 1.2 kilometers to 2.8 kilometers. All right? So with these ones, if it says 1 to n, basically you're taking this number and getting it to 1. So you're dividing this second number by whatever this first number is. So if I want to get 5 to 1, I need to divide by 5, right? So that becomes 1. 35 divided by 5 gives me 7. Okay? So these ones are basically simplifying, but they've given you the number that they want you to use to simplify. Just going to make sure I didn't have any more ratio questions in here. Yes, I do. See, look. Okay, we're going to do one more of these. So, a bank gives you 28 euros when you exchange 20 quid. How much will you be getting for exchanging 135? So, again, we've got 28 to 20. Okay, we want to know x to 135. So I have two different ways I can do this. I can either find the 1, so I can find out what £1 is going to get me in terms of euros, and then multiply by 135. Or I can set up fractions and cross multiply. Okay, either way, you're basically ending up doing the same thing. I prefer cross multiplication just because that's how I like to do it. You can do it either way. So I end up with 20x equals 28 times 135, which is going to give me... So 20x is going to give us 3,780. Then to get x by itself, we're going to divide both sides by 20. And x is going to equal 189. So our final answer is 189. Now the other way I could do this is I could do, just trying to get my cursor back here, I can do 28 divided by 20. Which gives me 1.4. Okay, and that tells me how many euros I get per pound. Then I can do 1.4 times 135. And I get the same answer of 189. Okay? So either way, totally acceptable to solve. Okay? One way makes sense to me, the other way makes sense to other people. Doesn't really matter as long as you get the same answer. Okay? So there's some more questions in here that have you solving questions like this. I know we've seen a few of these in the PPE, so remember, you're going to want to find out what each piece is worth. So if I've got 2 plus 3, that gives me 5, plus another 5 gives me 10, so that means that, actually, I'm going to solve this one because you guys are going to probably not like that very much. So there's 10 pieces in total, okay? I know that Ella, who gets 5, got 54, okay? Now, if I think about this, 5 out of 10 is half, isn't it? So, if I do 54 times 2, I get an answer of 108, okay? And that's going to be my total amount, okay? Now, if I do 54 divided by 9, or sorry, divided by 5, okay? That gives me 10.8, okay? Which is what each piece is worth. So, I want to know how much money Steve gets. So, Steve gets 3 parts, okay? Sorry that my circle looks like a 9. So, I'm going to do 3 times 10.8. Which gives me an answer of 32.4. So, he gets 32.40. Okay, so again we found what each piece is worth and then multiplied it by the number of pieces that person's going to get. Okay, so not too difficult at all. Alright, again, lots and lots of questions for you to work through. If you need any others worked through, I will be happy to go through them. Alright, thank you. Bye.